What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, September 29th. Tomorrow begins the 2025 Major League Baseball playoffs. The San Diego Padres regular season, put that in the past. 90 wins, some really good moments. Hey, great, awesome. That's in the past, baby. All that matters is at 12:08 Pacific, Matthew Boyd gets the bump, or he gets the ball for the Cubs. Tatis.
Matthew Boyd gets a bump.
Hey, what'd you say?
I said Matthew Boyd gets a bump at 12:08. That's great.
Yeah, I meant he gets the bump. It's baseball season, baby. It's playoff baseball. I could not be more hyped on my walk home from work. Made a little TikTok, but also just was thinking about all the great moments we've experienced in the last few years, from Trent Grisham in the 2022 NL Wildcard Series. Obviously, Cronenworth the center. Joe Musgrove's year last year, just beating the shit out of the Braves. Like, so many cool moments. I just want to experience it again, man. I just can't wait. Mike, how we living, Papa?
I am so excited. Today spent the majority of my lunch, maybe some would argue a little bit after lunch, in the office, watching former, old playoff games from the boys, whether that be playoff games in the 90s, playoff games last year, playoff games 2022, whatever it may be. Spent a lot of time doing that. I preferred to stay away from 2005 and 6 when we got smacked by the Cardinals in back-to-back seasons. So I didn't watch any of those, but more recent ones where we've won games. Listen, man, all I can say about this team right now is I feel very, very good about the bats. And if you would have asked me about 3 weeks ago what I felt worst about with this team, it was the bats. Tatis is heating up. The power stroke is back. Jackson Merrill has the power stroke back. Manny finished with the homer to end the season. Xander Bogaerts comes back. I think every ball that Xander's hit since he came back off the IL has been like over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Jackson Merrill. You got, this whole team. You got Gavin Sheets, Ryan O'Hearn. Obviously, we're going to, feel the loss a little bit of Ramon Laureano. All they have to do, Matt, in my opinion, is get to Milwaukee. If you can get the Cubs out of there, I like the chances against Milwaukee. But like the big thing is you're facing two lefties from the Cubs, and you got Nick Pivetta. You got your ace, your workhorse this year coming out of the gates tomorrow. Pivetta, 2 career playoff games, I believe. He has a 2.7 ERA in those playoff games. So he's been in it before. He pitched in the ALCS back in 2021 for the Sox. So he's been in it. He has to set the tone tomorrow. And the way that the team has to set the tone tomorrow, it's not off Nick Pivetta. If the Pods can push across a run in the first inning against Matthew Boyd,
I agree.
That's the tone for the series. If you remember last year against the Braves, game 1, what happens? Arise singles and Tatis hits a 2-run homer. You put the pressure on the opposing team right away in game 1. If they can come out and score a run or 2 runs to put up a crooked number to start the series, instantly you're putting the pressure on the home team. As the away team, you cannot let the home team get momentum in a playoff game. Chicago's going to be going crazy. I don't remember the last time they had playoff baseball. When was it? Do you know when the last time
so they made it in 2020, but there's no fans. So I think it was
they had a legitimate
maybe like 28 last time.
So I'm saying, these guys, listen, we know when 2022, when we were at that game, when a team in the city is starved from playoff baseball, they go nuts in that first game. So the way that you silence the crowd is you have to get out to 2018. You have to get out to a hot start. If the Padres can push across a run, 2 runs to start out the game, you take the life out of the crowd, right? Yeah. Even I feel really good about it. I know I'm rambling, so I want to pass it over here. Your thoughts. I know you're excited. Do I like the 12:08 start? No, I'm not a fan of it. That being said, what can you do? The boys didn't schedule it. You have to handle business. The Cubs have to play at 12:08, 2 or 2:08, whatever it may be. Still a daytime game for both teams. I like the Pods' chances. But I think I'll let you go, and I have a lot to say.
It's going to be a fun episode, man. First off, shout out everybody who's in the YouTube chat right now. Shout out everybody who's listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. we want to just give a special thanks, man, for rocking with the DSG. We got like 100 people in the YouTube right now live. It's been a fun year, man. A lot of ups and downs this year. Somehow we won 90 games. Felt like we were, 500 for majority of the year, but we won 90 games. But like I mentioned, guys, that's in the past. Everything about this season is in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We will look at we will talk about 2025 with what happens in the next 3 weeks. If we go 0-2 and get bounced by the Cubs, we're going to be talking about, is Schilt a playoff manager? Is Preller the right man for the job? Is Machado ever good? But if they go on a fat run and win the World Series, this will be the best team of our lifetime. Everything starts tomorrow. I want everybody to lock in, man. It's going to be electric. That's all I can ask. All you can ask is to make the dance. You're playing a Chicago Cubs team who, I'm going to say this about the Chicago Cubs. First half of the season, awesome offense. Awesome offense. Hitting home runs like crazy. Their offense kind of tailed off a little bit in the second half. Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga, incredible in the first half, also tailed off in the second half. Their best pitcher, Cade Horton, is on the IL. He will not be pitching against us, which injuries suck. We have injuries as well. Injuries suck. That's a benefit for the Pods. Let's be completely honest. Him not pitching is a benefit. I don't wish injury. Hey, what it happened.
Listen, hey, it's a benefit. It's a benefit for the Cubs that Ramon is out and they're throwing two lefties. Injuries happen in baseball. I'm completely with you. So we got to just take with what we're working with. I will say, Matt, we were just saying the same thing. You brought it up. Tomorrow's a clean slate. PCA, it doesn't matter that PCA tailed off at the end of the season. PCA can get hot in the playoffs and he becomes a Chicago legend, right? So 100%. It's both sides. I really think the X factor is just getting out to a lead early. You cannot let them get a lead and put the pressure on Pivetta early in the game. We saw 24 scoreless last year with the best Padres team we've probably ever watched. Anything can happen in the offs.
Anything. Hey, I think, Mike, that's the message of this show, man, and everybody at home. If you have a feeling of anxiety of like, man, I'm so nervous for tomorrow, you know what that means? That means you're a real fan, Papa. That means you give a fuck. If you are excited / nervous for tomorrow, you're stamped. You're DSG stamped, baby. Anyone who's a true fan of baseball, a true fan of their team, they're just I'm ready, man. The VAR is flowing through my veins. And guess who's batting first in that game?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Mike, you want me to read off Fernando Tatis Jr.'s postseason stats?
I know him, but I would love for the education aspect of this show.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is batting .375 with 18 hits, 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, 13 runs scored in 13 games in his postseason career. Tatis is the key, Pops. Hey, big time players make big-time plays. When Absolutely. You think Fernando Tatis Jr., what do you think of? In my opinion, I think of superstar. That's who he is. That's how he carries himself. You check out his Instagram. Dude's cool as fuck. You go on MLB commercials. Who do they play? They play Toddy. The dude's hooking up with Rosalia. This is Tatis doesn't give a fuck about the Marlins in fucking August. Tatis shows up for the ABC game with millions of people watching. Big time players make big time plays. Fernando Tatis Jr., we have a healthy, knock on wood, Fernando Tatis Jr. in the playoffs. Anything can happen, man. We have the stars. Like, we're going into this series. It's not like we're some fucking, no disrespect to the Reds. We're not the Reds. You're not the Reds. Brian Hayes is not batting third for our baseball team. We are going into a series against the Chicago Cubs team that is good. It's going to be a great series. We're underdogs on the books right now. Probably because we're on the road, but we are underdogs. You give me a lineup of Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Arraez, who, hey, have we been giving Luis Arraez a lot of shit this season? Absolutely. Has the sprinkler been sprinkling lately? Yeah. That motherfucker's been raking, dude. Raking. 4 for 5, 3 for 4, 2 for 3. Just do that again. Manny Machado. Manny, brother, the $1 million man. Big dog. SDFC, they don't start the playoffs till mid-October. How about you go on a 2-week run and get yourself over until SDFC plays? Jackson Merrill, last 30 games, Mike. I'm going to read off his stats and I'll let you cook.
I'm excited.
Jackson Merrill last 30 games, 289, 33 hits, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, 18 runs scored in 30 games. Jackson Merrill.
What's his OPS? 8 home runs. It's got to be good.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Wasn't expecting that question.
I'm with you. I know you said Tatis is the X factor. Tatis 2 home runs in the last series of the season, including a grand slam. Tatis is probably the most important player on the team from an all-around standpoint. If I'm talking X factor, the Pods last year in the playoffs, at least in the games that before they hit that 24 scoreless, most important player was Kyle Higashioka hitting lower in the order. Hit 3 home runs. The Padres they're going to need somebody in that bottom half, whether it's Crone, whether it's O'Hearn, whether it's Fermin. They're going to need Xander, whoever's hitting down there, they're going to need somebody at the bottom of the order to provide some pop, to get on base, to drive in runs. If you have a top-heavy order in the playoffs and a guy like Machado struggles in a game, or a guy like Merrill struggles in a game, Tatis struggles in a game, you have to pick it up at the bottom half of the order. I think the most important player is going to come down to being a Jake Cronenworth, being a Ryan O'Hearn, or Freddie Fermin. It's just going to have to happen. And we're playing lefties, right? Don't get me wrong. You go lefty on lefty, pretty much 75% of the order, you're going to need a guy like Xander, like Tatis, or like Machado to come through. And I just think, like, listen, the Padres have played good baseball. Don't stray away from that baseball, right? I think you win 7 out of the last 8. The team's hitting for power. They're playing fundamental baseball. If a guy like Fermin comes up, I know people say, like, the sack bunt is a dumb move. The Padres have ran that, and they win 90 games, right? Like, they play their baseball. Just continue to play your baseball. You win games playing that style of baseball. Continue to play it. Get a lead. Get to the dogs in the pen. If Nick Pivetta can go 6 or 7, just 6-7, something 6-7 or something like that.
Not 4-1, not 41.
If you can go 6 or 7 innings and you bring it over to the bullpen with the lead, this is what they drew up. You go Morehone, Mason Miller, Robert Suarez, 7, 8, 9, 2 games in a row. If you can get to the 7th inning with that pen coming in, I feel really good about the chances. I think Game 1 is the most important. Dylan Cease in a winner go home is going to be, if they lose Game 1 and Dylan Cease pitches Game 2 and a loser go home, he has the potential to either be one of the dogs of the season, or he's just going to have the worst rep with the Padres. For his sake and his confidence, I hope we just take Game 1, let Dylan Cease go out there with a little bit of calm, right? But it's going to be a fun series, man. Listen, playoff baseball is fucking incredible. We watch 162 games every season. If you count the fucking preseason, if you count spring training, we watch about 185 games per year for this moment. And it can all end in 2 games. So we have a guaranteed 18 innings left. Guaranteed. Everybody needs to enjoy those 18 innings because you never know.
Hey, man. Manny had a good quote. I was listening to 97.3 earlier, and he's like, man, the reason why we were celebrating so hard is you never know, man. You never know. Look at the Braves this year. Braves were supposed to be World Series favorites. They didn't even make the playoffs. Like, baseball is a crazy sport. It's a crazy sport. Obviously, with the extra playoff spot, gives the teams like the Padres a little bit more of a chance to make the playoffs more often, especially with the Dodgers being in our division. I don't know how you could look at this team. Obviously, I'm missing Jason Adam a lot. I think if we had Jason Adam, I mean, it's a completely different ballgame. But you look at this team, I genuinely could see this team. They have what it takes, in my opinion. This isn't one of these teams that, like, hopefully we fluke out hopefully we could fluke out a win or 2 in a series. It's like, no, like, this is a good team. This is a good baseball team. We're going to preview the Chicago Cubs. We're going to talk about the Cubs, what I know about the Cubs, what Mike knows about the Cubs. Want the chat to be kind of in and involved, what you have to say. The Cubs are a good baseball team, man. It's not like we're playing some fucking scrubs. Like, these guys are going to be ready to rock. Wrigley is going to be bumping. They haven't had a home playoff game in almost 7-8 years, so it's going to be absolutely crazy. In a weird way, it is kind of nice that it is during the day rather than at night. I feel like at night shit would have went even crazier. Special shout out to the Beef. He's been one of our favorite people that has followed our page, Hell of a season, boy. Lots of ups and downs. We're here. Let's fucking go. Got to win game one. I mean, that you could wrap up this whole show in just that comment, to be completely honest. That was awesome. Appreciate you, boys. I'm looking at the Cubs lineup right now, and then I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga. Let's look. All right. So they had pretty much the exact same lineup every single game, with the exception of a couple different changes to like 5-6. Michael Busch has been their best player the last month. Former Dodger, traded for Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris, I think. He's been really, really, really good for the Chicago Cubs. Loki almost hit the cycle. The big Twitter video, the Cardinals intentionally walked him when he had a chance to hit the cycle. He is enemy number one this week, as in, do not let this fucking guy beat you. He's leading off. He's their guy. Nico Horner has been great. I think he might win the batting title. He's been batting like 300 this year. Saw in a chat, Ian Happ has like a 960 OPS in the month of September. Well-known Cub, been a Cub pretty much for the last, I think he's the longest tenured Cub. Kyle Tucker, obviously going to be the name of the free agency 2026. Kyle Tucker's been hurt, though. Kyle Tucker's been hurt. When Kyle Tucker's healthy, he's been great. Kyle Tucker's postseason statistics, not great. He was an Astro, and he was notoriously not great in the postseason. Seiya Suzuki, who I really, really wanted on the San Diego Padres when he was coming over. People forget Yu Darvish told him how awesome Chicago was, and now he's a Cub. Ironic. Now we're playing, Yu Darvish is coming to Chicago to play Seiya Suzuki in his first playoff game. Seiya's been really tough second half, except for the last series. I think he hit 5 home runs in 4 games. So he's been hot. Carson Kelly's had a good year. PCA, obviously. PCA is the VAR man. I actually genuinely like PCA. I think he's a fun player to watch. He's an interesting one. I could see him either absolutely turning up in the playoffs or going like 0 for 10 with like 9 Ks. That's the kind of vibe I get from him. Dansby Swanson, dating Mal Pugh, solid. And yeah, Matt Shaw is Matt Shaw. So I'm looking at this lineup, not a ton of diversity. I will say that. That's the first thing I will say. Other than Seiya, it is a extremely Caucasian lineup. So that is the first thing I notice. Second, they got some guys that have been hitting lately. They're not. This is not going to be an easy out. Nick Pavetta's first start he had 2 starts this season against the Cubs. One at Petco, I think he went 5 innings, 1 earned. The one in Chicago, he went 3 innings, 3 earned runs. I'm going to look that up just to make sure.
I remember that game. Very windy day. Didn't have it to start out the game. I remember watching him.
I saw earlier on Twitter as well that the wind will be flowing in tomorrow, which I think benefits the Pods, who are 27th in home runs. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going to kind of focus the conversation on. Cubs are a top 5 offensive team. They number 5 in home runs, I believe number 5 or 6 in OPS, team OPS. Pods are a little bit different. We are 28th in home runs, and our OPS as a team is not great. Pods have lived and died by the pen. If you can just get offensive production for 3 weeks, this team can beat anything. So, my point,
that last week of baseball with the offense has been fucking crazy.
I agree. So my thing is Cubs have been hitting homers all season. You have to limit the long ball. That's pretty much the number one thing that you have to do as a pitching staff. You can't give up home runs. If you give up a double in the gap and it scores a run, so be it. If you're giving up nukes, that's where it gets tricky. Solo shots are fine. You cannot give up a home run, 2-run, 3-run shot, cooks the entire game. I think Nick Pivetta really just has to channel in that dog. He has to channel that dog. He has it in there. We've seen it all year. And listen, if the offense can get out to a hot start, I think Nick Pivetta will easily settle in. If it's the reverse and the offense gets out to a slow start and Pivetta gives up a run or 2 in the first, it's going to be an interesting showing, right? It's all momentum in playoff baseball. We saw it last year. And I think it was 40 degrees that day, is what Kyle said. Absolutely, that was a weird day. Very windy, very cold.
It was early in the season, man. Early.
It was an April game.
Rue has a great point, Mike, and I was going to bring this up, but you could finish. I apologize.
No, you're good. No, I see that. Limit the traffic on the base pass. I completely agree. I just said, if you give up a solo shot, that's fine. Try to limit the guys on the base path. And in the alternative, pods don't strike out a lot. Get guys on base. And then somebody comes through with the clutch hit. You limit the guys that get on base from their end. If they hit a home run, they hit a home run. If you get a lot of guys on base consistently, all you need is 1 or 2 big hits, and you're in a really good spot. I'm just excited, man. I'm like, I got to pinch myself.
It is like Christmas morning, to be completely honest. We don't know if we're getting Cole or a sick president. I wanted to show you guys this. Nick Pivetta, 190 Ks this year. I mean, incredible season. Juan, you took it right out of my mouth. It all comes down to this. It's the 50 walks. So he pretty much is, for every 4 strikeouts, he's given up 1 walk. We need that. If you can limit walk. Dylan Cease's only issue, Mike, is he walks the fucking world. No one can hit him. He gives up a home run here and there, 100%. Yeah. That motherfucker, he'll give up 3 hits, 5 earned runs. Oh, what happened? Oh, he walked fucking 3 guys and gave up a grand slam and then struck out 9. Mm-hmm. It comes down to walks, free bases, good defense, don't walk guys, and fucking attack. Especially if the wind's coming in. Nick, attack. You got 6 innings. Attack. No walks. If you walk guys, bullpen too. If you walk guys, it will come back to bite. It's free bases. It's basic baseball. If you play smart, we have a good defense. Tatis, incredible in the outfield. Merrill, incredible in center. Left field will probably be Sheetsy. A little nervous for Sheetsy in left, especially in Chicago, but I trust him. Defense in the infield has been great this season. It really has. Luis Arraez, I know the stats don't love him at first base. He's been solid at first base. I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if they put O'Hearn at first and put Arraez at DH. Do you kind of agree with that?
They should. I don't know if they will, but they should. I think O'Hearn's a genuinely good first baseman.
O'Hearn is a much better defensive first baseman. I want Arraez still in the lineup, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
You put Arraez as a DH, Manny at third. This team, I really think it comes down to this, bro. It's the walks, bro. If we could limit the Cubs walking and giving up free bases, this team can win baseball games. I'm very interested to see if the offense continues to show what they've shown the last week and a half. And Mike, you mentioned him earlier, but I think this guy might be the underrated key. And I think Giannis posted this, or it was either Danny, Tatis MVP season on Twitter. One of those guys who's like a great Twitter follow. And he was like, what was like each year we've kind of had this like random guy pop up as like the dude of the playoffs, right? 2020, I mean, Tatis was already a stud, but like 2020 Tatis was like awesome. Then you go 2022, I always think of Trent Grisham. 2024, I like Higgy and Tatis. So Tatis is a playoff stud. We get that. But there's like a Higgy type guy, like you mentioned. The guy I think is going to be that dude is a rental. I think it's Miso Herney. Rumor has it, Miso Herney. I had a friend run into him had a friend run into him and his wife at the San Diego Zoo. He said, went up to him. O'Hearn bought a beer because he's a dog. And the guy was like, yo, are you going to sign with the Pods? He's like, if they cut that check, Papa, you ball out, cut that fucking check, baby. Hey, Ryan O'Hearn, stats against lefties this year. 278, 3 homers, 109 plate appearances, 15 RBIs. Not bad. You become an instant legend. I wonder if these guys are going to bed tonight thinking like, man, I hope they're probably not. They're probably not as psycho as us. But you think you're like, if you're a Gavin Sheets guy, right? Everybody already loves Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets, Papa, Terry Bonds. You milk a couple out at Wrigley. You are actually goated for life in San Diego. Like, this is the city. I'm going to go on a riff real quick, and then we'll go back to Padres talk. Is there a better city in a better time to become a fucking legend then right now, if you're a San Diego Padres player, there's no fucking football team in town. We got SDFC who are cool. I like SDFC a lot. I like SDSU. Not everybody went to SDSU. Not everybody likes MLS. The Pods are the team. They've never won a World Series. If you go crazy in the next 3 weeks of baseball, play your best baseball of all time, and somehow the Pods win a World Series, for the rest of your fucking life, for your kids' life, for your grandkids' life, you're stamped. Like, I wish I could talk to these guys. Stamped. It's not like you're the fucking Dodgers. Oh, we win all the time. Or, oh, we're the Yankees. We've won 27 rings. This franchise has never won. We've never won. If you make it to the World Series, Mike, the last time they made it to the World Series, we got swept. Also, I was fucking 2. You were just born. I'm pushing 30. I'm unk. Bro, you could be goated, stamped, legend. Just remember that. And go in tomorrow, fuck Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd throws you a cookie, take that shit out, man. Win this fucking game, bro. I want to fly out to Milwaukee on Saturday and spend way too fucking much money on a ticket. I want to.
Yeah.
Come on, boys. I'm sorry. I know every episode I have these like WWE type rants, but that kind of just came out. I'm just hyped, man. I'm just fucking hyped.
Me too. Me too. Listen, I'm just thinking of 2022 road series against the 100+ win New York Mets. First inning of that series, right? We're not favorites. I think we won 89 games or something. We're not favorites at all. First inning, Profar singles, lead off, 2 outs. Josh Bell comes up, sets the tone, 2-run homer. That's kind of what this team, I'm going to hammer it home. You have to score in the first inning tomorrow. You have to. Or if you get out of the bottom half, you have to score in the second inning. You have to score first. Score first, set the tone.
Early and often, Mikey.
Got to put the pressure. You have to put the pressure on the home team and take the crowd out of the game. That's what you have to do. Make it happen. Tatis, if he leads off the game with the home run, you set the fucking tone off the bat, dude. He's a playoff riser. If he comes up there versus Matthew Boyd and gets a cookie, listen, that swings look good. He's starting to do the toe tap again. It looks good. I feel really good about Tatis coming into the series. Manny started to, piece together some hits at the end.
I mean, look at our lineup, bro. Our lineup's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good lineup. Like, I'm going to look up, and I'm actually going to ask you in the chat. You're Mike Schilt. Obviously, Pavetta's on the bump. What's your lineup? What's your start opening day or not opening day? Who's getting announced on and playing on ABC tomorrow at 12? And chat, you add on too, man. And also, real quick, shout out the homies in the giving super chats, man. $10. Oscar, you're the legend. We're the effing super pods. We got the shit, boys. Lock in tomorrow. Love the DSG. Love you too, brother. Appreciate that, man. Can't wait for tomorrow. Dara, what's up, homie? Sorry?
You're saying, sorry, shout out Dara. Problem with Cease, he's trying to strike guys out. Agree with that. Listen, we're going to see with Dylan Cease. I feel way better about Dylan Cease if you win game 1. All right, so hopefully this team just sets the tone, wins with Pavetta. And I hope we win with Cease because Darvish has been susceptible for the long ball this year. Yeah, so
Darvish been getting
I would like to not run into that issue. But as long as you listen, if you lose game 1, get to 3. So it's like whatever happens. If I'm starting
before you get into Mike, thank God it's not a game 163, man. I know if we win tomorrow, we're gonna wish it was a game 163. But if we lose, we're gonna be like, thank God. Best of 3 series, man. Honestly, just early and often. Mike Schilt, Devine. What do you? What's your lineup?
Who would you have thrown? If I'm starting out game 1, Matt Boyd. I'm going Tatis leadoff, Arise second, Manny third. I guess I'd go Sheets cleanup. I'd go Xander 5th, Merrill 6th. 7th. I know the issue that I'm running into with the Merrill versus Sheets in the cleanup spot is I don't know if I trust Merrill to get a hit. Sheets has more pop, in my opinion. So I'm saying, listen,
I'm thinking about Sheets. He hasn't hit a bomb in a minute, dude.
All right. Well,
Merrill's hit 8 in a month. Sheets, I think, has been at 19 home runs for a while.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I trust Merrill to listen. You start out, and let's say, I guess my point is, let's say you have Merrill hitting fourth, and you go one, you get one guy on, and Merrill gets out. That bottom half of the order, you're going Xander, Sheets, O'Hearn. Like, I trust Merrill. It's good, but I trust Merrill to get on base more than I trust those guys to get on base, to be completely honest. So you have to have somebody at the bottom of the order that sets up that order to get a hit, score a run. And I think that there's a lot of boom or bust the further down you go in that order. If you put Merrill at fourth and Xander at fifth, like 6, 7, 8, 9, there's a lot of boom, a lot of bust. And I think you got to have somebody down in that order that can consistently get on base. I trust Merrill with how he's been swinging the bat. If we were facing a righty, it'd be completely different. Yeah. But you have to mix it up a little bit with the lefties so that they don't just bring in like Drew Pomeranz late in the game and you have 3 lefties going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I have a question for you. 2 things. And the chat has a question as well. Jonathan, what's up, brother? He says, how long is Diaz out? I know someone else asked if I think Hayden asked if DSG can for mean catch Pivetta. Obviously, Elias Diaz has been Pivetta's pitcher, or they've been the battery together. Juan commented, and also Juan, thank you for the super chat. I saw that earlier. Appreciate you, brother. Juan says Papa Diaz says he's good to go. I tweeted this, Mike, I think like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I was watching Elias Diaz. And Mike has a nickname for Elias Diaz when he's doing bad, and it's Elite Ass D Ass. But the thing about Elias Diaz, man, for some reason, I feel like if the Padres are going to go on a fat run, he's going to have a massive home run. Like, it's going to be like, that's the kind of guy that hits like a fucking 3-run shot with 2 outs in like the 5th inning, and it just completely changes the game. It's just classic Papi Diaz, bro. Buenos Diaz. The game's in the morning. So yeah, hopefully, I think Diaz is going to get the start tomorrow. My question for you is this, and this is obviously worst case scenario. Say Pivetta's getting raked. Game 1. Pivetta is walking guys, doesn't have his best stuff. It's the 3rd inning. It's 3-0. Cubs. Pivetta is struggling as a runner on first, 2 outs. And it looks like someone's getting hot. Who are you putting in to finish the rest of that game to ensure that the next game we have the right guys? Because, guys, as much as I want to act like, yo, we're going to sweep the fucking entire playoffs, it's not going to happen. So we have to be, I'm curious to hear the concoctions that Mike Schilt Devine and what the chat would love to hear, because I'm very interested to see, especially in a 3-game series. You don't want to waste Morejón and Miller, but you also want to pitch those guys.
Yeah, I know Randy just pitched, so I think he might be unavailable, to be honest. It sounds crazy, and I think they sent him down for JP Sears, but if they can get him back up in the 3rd inning in a situation like that, I'll throw Kyle Hart. Kyle Hart's been pretty solid out of the pen. He can eat innings. Do I think if you're going down 3-0, like, I don't know if you pitch that game high leverage, a game that you're down like that.
Yeah.
Like, you could go everybody in the pen, but then if it's a close game the next day and you've burned a couple arms, you're screwing yourself this following day. I would say you got to go long relief. I say Kyle Hart. I would not put, Kyle Hart walks too many people, but like, I don't know. He's looked kind of good out of the pen, to be completely honest. And I think the Cubs have a relatively solid amount of left-handed hitters. They got Michael Bush.
Kyle Hart can't
Kyle Tucker. He can't be?
Not for this series.
That's brutal. Kyle Hart's out of the equation. I guess you got to –
like Demo?
Yeah, but they need a guy who can eat innings. Like, what are you going to throw? Demo, Brasley, and for like multiple innings each? Yuki Matsui, like Wandy. I don't know. I'd probably go Wandy and have him throw 2 innings.
Yeah, Wandy's that's actually a good
and then you try to get back in the game, and if you get back in the game in those 2 innings, then you go high leverage. But
so game, let's say it is a 6th inning. Or 5th inning. That's a good question for you, Mike. 5th inning, Pivetta's pitching well. Gets in a little trouble. 1st and 2nd, Kyle Tucker's up. We're up 1-0. You putting in Morejón in that spot? Or are you waiting?
I'm absolutely putting in Morejón in that spot.
Yeah. I think you have to just – I mean, Schilt's shown it all season, but it's the fucking offs, bro. You got to be quick.
Yeah. You cannot risk keeping a guy in too long in the playoffs. If you keep Nick Pivetta in that situation and Tucker burns you with a home run, there's nobody else to blame but Mike Shildt in that scenario. If you bring in Adrian Morejon and Kyle Tucker hits a home run, people will say, why the fuck did Mike Shildt do that? But deep down, everybody knows that was the right move. You have to put the demon lefty that's been your guy all year in high leverage coming in and stopping a bleed. If he beats you, he beats you, but that is the guy you have to bring in. That Adrian Morejon might be the most pivotal player in this series based off the fact that the majority of big hitters outside of Seiya on that roster are left-handed hitters.
Yeah,
so when it's a moment like that, you're going to bring in Morejon or you're going to bring in Wandy Peralta. So those guys need to come in and dominate.
Wandy and Adrian are massive in this series because Adrian can't pitch every single big lefty spot, right? If it's Dylan Cease or Michael King. So what I was listening to Braden Suprenant show earlier this morning, awesome. Braden Suprenant, 97.3, homie, great guy. They were talking about Dylan Cease starting game 2, and supposedly Michael King's going to be in the bullpen. Mm-hmm. Cease playoff statistics, 12.7 ERA. Dylan Cease this season, almost a 5 ERA. Dylan Cease against the Cubs, though, the team that drafted him, by the way. And this is something that, and this might be like like how everybody has their own like classic baseball, right? You have superstitions and all this shit. I do believe you play with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Look at CJ Abrams whenever he plays the Pods. I feel like he hits a home run every single time. There's certain players that ball out when it's the team that fucking drafted him, right? He traded him to the White Sox. Cease had his best season ever as a White Sox. One time through the lineup at most for Dylan Cease, in my opinion. I think you pray it's 3 innings. If it's 2 innings, and then Michael Busch comes up with a runner on first and second in the third, you take that motherfucker out. You have to. Quick pull. That's what, I'll ask you right now, in chat, I want you guys to be bluntly honest right now. Do you believe in Mike Shildt in this playoffs? Is he going to make the right calls? I want the chat to let me know, like, honestly, because if you're wrong and you say, no, I don't believe in him and he does great, that's awesome for us. So like, I'm going to say this, and you know why? Because there's nothing else you could do. I believe in Shildt Daddy, bro. That motherfucker, 90 wins in every game. Every manager is every season is a manager. Yeah, has he made a couple missed calls here and there? Absolutely. Dylan Cease on three days rest. It happens. You got to trust with your guys. And this is my message for the whole fan base. And I'm going to try to tell myself this too, especially when we get into some tough spots, hopefully for a long playoff run. You really just got to keep the faith. I think that's all we could do as fans, right? Because we could play it in our head. Oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. I would have done this. I would have done that. We're not the manager. So you got to ride with your fucking guys and pray that we make the right decisions, man.
Now let me give you my Shildt take here. One, I trust Shildt. Mike Shildt last year did not go 24 scoreless. That was the offense.
Yeah.
If Mike Shildt's offense during that series plays like how they normally would, Padres make the NLCS. They probably have a really good shot at winning the World Series. No one's thinking about Mike Shildt as a bad decision maker.
It's a good point.
They were up 2-1 and the team went cold bats-wise. Like that, shit happens. That happened. By all means, that's on the offense. I don't really fault Shildt for that. This year, I think there's a little less offense from the team, so it will be more Mike Shildt driven on certain moves. I feel like games will be a little bit closer. We were up against the Braves pretty early.
Yeah, the Braves series was the definition of what you mentioned earlier, right? You start off hot at home, it's hard to come back. That's why.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think Mike Shildt might have to manage a little bit more this year than he did last year. So it is going to be interesting, but I don't think you can fault him last season for the 24 scoreless.
I agree with that.
That's more on the offense forgetting how to hit the baseball.
So that's a good question for you. And I got to give JK a shout out. Thank you for the donation, my brother. AO DSG Mees Dog. Thoughts on bullpen management game 2. Great question. I like the idea of Michael King piggybacking. I think they said he has about 75 pitches. If all goes well with Michael King and Dylan Cease, you should assume that gets you to about 6 innings. And Mason Miller, Morejon, Jerry, all these players. Also, Jerry got DFA'd by the Cubs. Chip on his shoulder a little bit. Bobby Suarez, all these guys. Hey, this is what you play for, man. I'm pitching if I have to pitch Adrian Morejon 3 straight games, I'm pitching Adrian Morejon 3 straight fucking games. 100%. He's got some off days. He knows what's up.
He also will be able
Mason Miller, same shit. I'm pitching all these guys. Dude, you got to win. Fuck this. You have to win. It's over. It's no, oh man, we got to keep them warm for the Dodgers. No, it's it. This is it. This is your entire season.
Let me ask you a question though, because obviously Estrada's been pretty shaky. Gives up a homer every time he pitches.
He's been asked.
I get the revenge aspect of it. He got DFA'd. He's gonna have some fire. I don't know if I trust him, even though there's that revenge aspect. He's given up too many home runs. And in the playoffs as a reliever, if you give up a home run, you're probably going to lose the game. 6th inning comes around. It's a 1-run game. Padres are up. Obviously, your 7, 8, 9 is pretty set in stone. I would say it's, obviously Morejon, Miller. 6th inning. Who are you throwing? Let's say that the lineup is top of the order. It's Michael Busch, whoever hits second, Kyle Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki. Who are you pitching in that scenario?
To be completely honest, off the top of my head right now, first player that comes to my mind is Wandy. You're paying Wandy $5 million a year. He has playoff experience. My issue with Wandy is when there's runners on, inherited runners score off Wandy Peralta. Wandy with a clean inning, pretty fucking solid for the most part this season. When I think of Wandy Peralta, I think his biggest struggles happen when there's a runner on second and third and 2 outs, and he comes in and he gives up a fucking nuke, right? When Wandy has a clean inning, I think that's a pretty good option. What do you think?
I mean, the moment is obviously insanely bright in the playoffs, and this individual is relatively new. However, guys who are electric in the playoffs play. Their stuff plays. Bradley Rodriguez is an electric pitcher. You are putting a lot on him. Do not get me wrong. But nasty mix of pitches, throws 100 on the black, nasty slider. It's a huge scenario. It is a huge scenario. But I'm going power versus power in that scenario. I trust. I listen. The issue with this team is that Jason Adams went down.
Massive loss.
Because that's a guaranteed 6, 7, 8 guy if you need him.
Truly a massive loss.
He steps up. I agree. Wandy's probably the right call in that scenario against 2 lefties, but Wandy, you know that there's just some fluke shit that could happen with Wandy Peralta. Bradley, I'll change my opinion. I think Wandy is the right call. I do think Ryan Flaherty is the bench coach for the Cubs, by the way. That's the question. Ryan Flaherty, classic Padres bench coach.
Is Andy Green still in the Cubs organization?
No, he's in the front office, I think, for the Mets.
Oh, makes sense.
I don't know.
I'm fucking hyped, man. So let's look.
Here's actually a good question for you.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm here.
Here's a good question. Mike King's coming out of the pen, obviously. That's what they've said. 6th inning. Do you go like the Madison Bumgarner route with Mike King and just say, get your ass out there and shut these fools down and just have them?
No, I think that's going to happen in the third. I think that's going to happen in the 3rd or 4th inning of Game 2. I think Dylan Cease goes.
Game 1. I'm talking game 1.
No. Okay. I think Game 1, Nick Pivetta. If it's a 2-run game, it would not surprise me, guys, if Adrian Morejon or Mason Miller go 2 innings. Not probably together, but I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, Pivetta gives us 4 1/3. Morejon goes in for an inning, pitches 2 1/3. That wouldn't shock me if he's rolling. This is all in. I don't want to see fucking Yuki Matsui pitch. Like, if we're seeing Yuki pitch, we're fucked. Unless we're up 15-0, right? But like, let's be real. This is playoff baseball. Quick hooks. You have to win games. You got to manufacture runs. If you're a team like the Pods that doesn't hit a lot of homers, you got to manufacture runs. You got to steal the base. You got to run the bases well. You got to play great defense. This is going to be a fucking heavyweight battle, dude. Real talk, by far the best matchup in the wild card series. You look at Cleveland versus Detroit, cool inter division, right? Tarek Skubal, Detroit collapses. Cleveland's been playing well. Okay. You look at the Reds and the Dodgers. Hunter Green, unless Hunter Green goes 9 fucking shutty tomorrow, that's going to be a 2-game. That's going to be a 2-game fucking win for the Dodgers. And then you look at the Yankees, Red Sox. It's not 2004 anymore, bro. It's just not. Roman Anthony is not playing for the Red Sox. It's probably going to be a pretty quick Yankees win. So the best series is Padres Cubs. These are honest prediction. We got 45 minutes, 187 people in the YouTube chat. If you guys could like this up, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us out. I'm going to ask you a couple predictions, Mike, and I'm going to ask the chat as well. First prediction. If the Padres win this series, who is going to be the MVP?
If the Padres win this series, the MVP is going to be Manny Machado.
Interesting.
A lot of critiques on Manny in the playoffs. Rightfully so, hasn't necessarily been the best playoff performer. We always know where Manny goes, the Padres go. A good series from Manny Machado. I know Tatis is going to impact the game in whatever way. Manny's impact has to come offensively. If Manny impacts the game with his bat, I feel really, really good about the chances. I think he is the X factor offensively. From a pitching MVP standpoint, I'm going to have to say it's Nick Pivetta. I know people will say the bullpen, but Nick Pivetta starts off the series with a dominant performance. He sets the Padres up for success. I think you said it, Matt. You win game 1, your odds of winning in that series, I think, like for historically, are like 99.9% or something crazy. There's been like one, I think it was us in 2020 without fans. You win game 1, you put yourself in a great position. I think he's the X factor. I think he's the X factor from a pitching standpoint. Manny's the X factor offensively.
Yeah, I mean, great takes. I saw someone in the chat say this, and I completely agree. When I think of this player, I think he is going to be looked at one day as one of the most underappreciated San Diego Padres of all time, given his length and how long he's been on the team. He posts, plays great defense. And this season, his on-base percentage has been fucking insane. Jake Cronenworth has a 367 on-base percentage. He's a left-handed hitter. We're facing a lot of lefties. They got Tyler Rogers, Drew Pomeranz in the pen. Their bullpen's not great. We'll talk about that a little later. I think Cron's the key, man. And we don't need Cron to hit home runs. But I think Cron and I think Luis Arraez are two guys that we really need to just get on base. If Arraez can go 3 for 4, we're probably going to win this series. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who gets on double. Also, wind flying in. Who's a guy you want on your team? Luis Arraez, who just peppers fucking singles. That's the kind of shit we need, man. I think Luis Arraez and I think Jake Cronenworth offensively. I think pitching wise, you said it earlier, man. I mean, dude, this is the time is now for Nick Pivetta, but also I'm going to give this guy as the MVP of this season if we do end up winning. The only way the San Diego Padres are going to win anything of value this October is if Dylan Cease pitches well. If Dylan Cease doesn't pitch well, it's over. When you think about it, Michael King's not ramped up. Michael King is not ramped up. King could possibly pitch 75 pitches out of the pen. Okay. That's not that great. Dylan Cease is a starter. He's ramped up. He has his stuff to be great. I think Dylan Cease is the MVP if we're going to go on a couple runs.
I like it.
Shout out Marco too.
Yeah, shout out Marco. Are we doing some to wrap this up? A little predictions on the series, or what's the idea here?
Predictions on the series. And also comment on this video who you guys think MVP and all that stuff. Mike, predictions on this series.
I think the Pods win in 3. I think they win game 1, lose game 2, and win an insane game 3. Back and forth game 3. Somebody comes through with the big hit and the Padres win. X factor for this series. I think you just got to get to the pen. You paid for Mason Miller for a reason. You gave up a number 3 prospect in baseball. The guy looks electric, and Leo DeVries. But Mason Miller is a power pitcher. People do not want to face Mason Miller. You hear these other teams talk about it. What's the best fastball you face? Mason Miller. If you can get to Mason Miller and how he's been pitching for the Padres, that's what you traded for at the deadline. That's not to say Mason Miller is going to strike out the side every single game he pitches in the postseason, but the goal when you make that trade is to get to Mason Miller with a lead in the playoffs. So if they can get to the bullpen, Morejón, Miller, Suarez, with a lead, that is the X factor for the series. Nick Pivetta has to dominate tomorrow, man. It's going to be an early game. Our entire mood for tomorrow is going to be determined by 3 p.m. So, I just can't wait.
I can't wait either. I completely agree with pretty much all of your takes there, man. I know it's probably not good radio when you both agree. I think the Padres win in 3. I do think we win tomorrow. Even if we lose tomorrow, I still think we win in 3, honestly. Like, I genuinely believe in this club. And if we don't, we don't, man. But I'm riding with these motherfuckers for life. I think it comes down to big-time players making big-time plays, man. And there's no bigger player on the San Diego Padres than Fernando Tatis Jr. Hey, if Tati goes and balls out, we're going to win some ball games, honestly. Manny Machado hasn't been great in the playoffs, to be completely honest. People forget, though, that 24 scoreless against the Dodgers, a couple of those balls barely missed going out. Mm-hmm. Baseball, crazy sport. You're always an inch or 2 away. All we could do as Padres fans, man, show up to support the boys tomorrow. If you're watching at work, if you're watching, in the bathroom at work, if you're watching at school, if you're at a bar, if you're at home, if you're at the game, if you're at a watch party, just have fun, man. We're guaranteed 18 more innings. And guess what? DSG is going to be there if we fucking win the World Series or if we get bounced in 2. Remember that. Go Pods. Keep the VAR high, baby. We'll see you tomorrow. Later, big dog.
Later, bro.